Assalamu alaikum, dear students. I am your teacher, Dr. Khurram Shehzad, and today the topic of our discussion is discourse, ideology, and newspapers. We can also call it discourse, discourse and ideology in media. But when I was going through the course outline, they have specifically talked about ideology in newspapers. So I thought that I should give it a name, discourse, ideology, and newspapers. Anyways, we have already talked about discourse. We know that discourse is made up of sentences having the properties of cohesion and coherence. It investigates the supra-sentential structure of any stretch of language, whether it is spoken or written. It explores the relationship between discourse and reality, how texts are made meaningful through production, dissemination, and consumption, and how do they contribute to the constitution of social reality by making meaning. So critical discourse analysis, its agenda is different. We have already talked about the agenda points of critical discourse analysis. It takes up the issues of gender, identity, ideology, power, discrimination, marginalization, and its job is to highlight that how these things are embedded in the texts. Now text, we know that it can be spoken or written. So its job is to tell us that how people they make use of different kinds of discourses and marginalize different kind of people. So our job is to highlight these kinds of biases, prejudices, and issues which are embedded in the text. Critical discourse analysis looks at how the words they are carrying different kind of power, and this power is usually taken as self-evident, and the words of those, for example, who are in power, they are considered truth, and those who are not in power, they are considered irrelevant. Let me read a paragraph from your book, where Brian Poldrake talks about ideology. The values and ideologies which underlie text tend to be hidden rather than clearly stated. So these ideologies, they are never clearly stated, because the moment you will clearly state it, people will come to know what is your agenda, and they will come to know what you want. So usually these things are kept hidden so that people should not easily come to know that what they actually are doing with the help of these ideologies which they are spreading. If we talk about media, that every day we see different kinds of dramas are being telecast on our different channels, and how girls, I am not against them, their freedom, I am not against them, even our religion is not against the freedom of women, but it assigns different kinds of jobs and liberties, responsibilities to different kind of people, like male and females, and it creates its own society. But you will come across dialogues like these, अगर वो फोन नहीं करता तो क्या हुआ, मैं कर लूंगी. You come across things like these in different kinds of dramas. ये आपकी जिंदगी है, it is your life, आपको इसके बारे में हक है कि आप फैसला करें. It is your life, so you should make your decision. Who are your parents? Why should they make your decision? So these are the kinds of ideologies which are being perpetrated and which are being disseminated, spread in the society. If I tell you this thing here categorically, you will say that this person is not a good person. He is telling us wrong things. Who is he? Why he is talking about such type of things? But very, indirectly, these things are being communicated to girls that वो phone नहीं करता तो मैं कर लूँगी. And how you are being, given a direction that you should take steps and do certain kinds of things. So the role of media is very important because it helps reinforce, it helps, spread different kinds of ideologies at different times. As we have read that identity is not fixed, ideology is also not fixed. My identity in the classroom is different. My identity at home is different. My identity in the staff room with my colleagues is different. And my identity in the office of my HOD is different. So my identity is not fixed. Your identity is not fixed. Here you are a student. At home you may be a daughter, you may be a son. You may be a husband. You may be a brother, you may be a sister. So our identities, they keep on changing. Here I am a teacher. But at home I am not a teacher. So same is the case with the, ideologies. And powerful ideologies are disseminated in the country, in the world. Different people have different worldviews. And according to those worldviews, they can create different kinds of ideologies. So newspapers are also producing a kind of text which is common form of written discourse. And these days newspapers are available online as well. And then newspapers, they also use multimodality, different kinds of modes. Written text is there, plus figures are there, diagrams are there, and different kinds of leads are there, colors are there. So they highlight different kinds of realities. They produce different kinds of realities. They subscribe themselves to different kinds of realities. And the day a human being comes into this world, human beings are also giving subscription. As we subscribe to different kinds of newspapers, channels, human beings are made to give, subscription. We have been divided, Sunnis and Shias, and the day we were born, we gave subscription. Our parents took us to a particular, place, to a particular mosque, asking us that you should offer prayer here, and this is the person who will guide you, this is the person you should listen to, this is the person you should believe in, whatever he is saying, and this is how we are making subscriptions. So newspapers, owing to their public nature and availability for large number of people, newspapers are one of the most widely read types of written text. Reading daily newspapers is a normal routine for many people. So same is the case, media, television, channels, they know that every day so many people, they watch them. So they have their own ideologies, they propagate their own ideologies, and people have already given subscription to these channels. There are people, they always watch Geo, there are people, they always watch ARY, there are people, they always watch Hum, there are people, they always watch, this Sama. So people have given their subscriptions. And these channels, they produce different kinds of truths. They have their own truths, they have their own lies. And they spread all these things among the people. And people love to listen to them. So much so, I have seen, even religious channels. There are so many religious channels these days on media. So again, you can give subscription to these channels. You know that what kind of channel, what kind of ideology, what kind of things are being propagated. So, Even the kind of color that people are using, they give subscription. Green color, we know if somebody is putting on a green, hat, what kind of people they are. Black hat, what kind of people they are. White hat, white color, what kind of people they are. So they have given subscription. So this is something unfortunate, that we have divided our society into different kinds of sects. So channels are there, different kinds of channels, and they will cater to your needs, and they have read the audience very well. They know what they want to consume, so they believe in consumerism, and they will be giving different kinds of programs on air according to the consumers, what people would love to hear, what people would love to see, what people would love to give ratings. Accordingly, different programs are being made. So these days, different channels have different entertainment programs as well. So on Ball, on ARY, different kinds of entertainment programs. You don't need to go to mosque to offer prayer, to spend your time in front of Allah Almighty, but rather people sit in front of those programs and watching them, that how different kinds of prizes are being distributed among people, and then different kinds of activities that they are doing, and people would just laugh at them. Once I was watching a program in Ramadan, and I was surprised. The anchor person or the host of the program called some of the people from the audience, gave them a stick, and now the person is putting his forehead on the stick and he is, circling. What is this? Maybe the person may have, dizziness, and people are laughing. And look at the ideology they are promoting. Consumers. They are distributing prizes among people. So today you do not sit, in the mosque or at home in a silent place to recite the Holy Quran, to understand the message of Allah Almighty, to see what Allah Almighty is saying, But instead of that, we are sitting in front of the different channels and wasting our time. But media, no doubt it has got benefits. It gives us knowledge. It also gives us information. But it has disadvantages as well. So we need to understand what we are doing and what kind of subscription we are making. So they are also spreading different kinds of discourse. Newspaper is also spreading different kind of discourse. They have their own people who write columns for them, and only their columns are being disseminated, published time and again, and we know what kind of lines they toe and what kind of ideology they spread. And usually we have Islamic ideology, but there are so many kinds of Islamic ideology as well, which are being propagated on these media channels and in these newspapers too. So newspapers play a very important role, and they know how to control the people. They know how to control the minds of the people. They know what to propagate, what to make truthful, what not to make truthful, what to present as a truth, what to present as a lie. Newspaper text can be said to be a discourse of their own. There are certain features and characteristics that make them stand apart from other types of discourse. Michel Foucault discusses discourse in terms of language, linking it with culture, making its direct reference with the newspapers, saying it is related to the social function of language. Discourse claims that language used about a particular practice constructs the object of which it speaks. So there are always social constructions. Reality is being socially constructed, ideology is being socially constructed on different channels, in different media houses, and they have their own ideologies which they are propagating day in and day out, and we have given subscription. CDS states that discourse in newspaper forms a circular process in its social roles as well as different practices interfere with the text as they shape its context and production manner. In a similar way, newspaper texts also have an influence in society by shaping the reader's point of view. So newspapers, they shape the point of view of the people. When you have given subscription to just only one kind of newspaper, let's say Jung or Dawn, and it comes to your house daily and you read, so you know that what kind of ideology they are propagating. If only one channel you are watching every day, I quite often watch, for example, Hum, and I have observed that 90% of the dramas, they are propagating love marriages. That people should go for love marriage, as if it is the only, panacea for all kinds of ills in the society. Then we show how women are being treated in the society every time, that women are maltreated. It is not, I don't say that women are maltreated, but it is just one segment of the society. There are so many people, they respect women, they give them equal rights, okay. Today in our society, I observe so many women are working, and they know about their rights, they know about their responsibilities, they play a very constructive role in the society. But we do not highlight that constructive role. Rather, we just show that how they are being maltreated in the society all the time. And then look at some of the dramas all the time telecasting repression, suppression, which is carried out on women by women. So reports of events are not entirely true or objective, because subjectivity is involved, and nobody can claim that he or she is 100% objective. We are very much subjective when we are writing a report, when we are writing, some essay. Our own ideology is part and parcel of that text. Let me read Thread Gold now. Thread Gold observes, texts are never ideology free, nor are they objective. Texts are never ideology free, nor are they objective. Objectivity can be there, but 100% objectivity nobody can claim. Social sciences, human beings living in the society, they have their own likes and dislikes. They have their own systems. They work within those systems. They have their own culture. They have their own values. And all values, everybody, adheres to those values and they like them. So we have no right to say that your values are bad, or your culture is bad, or your culture is inferior. Everybody is equal. We should learn to live in the society which is multicultural. We should not, blame or criticize the other person. We should respect them. There should not be any marginalization or biases created on the basis of malpractices in the society. Nor can they be separated from the social realities and processes they contribute to maintaining. Our discourses, they always contribute to maintaining such type of ideologies. We all are Muslims. We love our religion. We all are Pakistanis. We love our country. No doubt we need to highlight the malpractices, yes. We need to talk about the marginalization wherever it exists in order to eliminate it from the society. For Thread Gold, spoken and written genres are not just linguistic categories, yes, They are not just linguistic categories, but among the very processes by which dominant ideologies are reproduced, produced and reproduced, enacted and reenacted, created and recreated, subscribed and resubscribed, reproduced, transmitted, and potentially changed. And we want to change, when we want to change an ideology, we potentially change it. It's a set of ideas. Then we bring in new ideology in the society. And we want that everybody should give subscription to this new ideology. Like New Pakistan, Naya Pakistan ideology. Modern enlightenment, the concept of modern enlightenment. English people, they also came to the subcontinent, and they had this ideology, this idea in their mind that they were coming to bring modern enlightenment for us, to civilize us, as if we did not know anything. We did not know how to eat, how to dress, how to, perform our duties. So such type of ideologies are produced in order to win the hearts and minds of the people. In her view, in the views of Threadgold, spoken or written genre is never just the reformulation of a linguistic model, but always the performance of a politically and historically significant process. So events and processes, which are going on, they are politically motivated, they are historically motivated. Every day we produce some discourse, we always relate it with the Holy Prophet, we relate it with Islam, we relate it with some other activities and other things which happened in the history. And our textbooks, our newspapers, our media make use of all these things. They contribute to maintaining and sustaining such type of ideologies which we adhere to, which we like. There are a number of ways in which ideology might be explored in a text. The analysis may start by looking at the textual features. So again here, 3D model of Fair Club, which we have already talked about, is being discussed. That there are 3 levels of analysis: micro level, meso level, and macro level. So first you look at the textual data, how text is produced, what kind of linguistic items are used. Then at second level, you look at the relationship of the author with the text, of the author with the reader, of the reader and the text, and the ideology and the agenda and the objectives that he had or she had in order to produce that text. And then we relate all these things with the macro level issues, gender issues, marginalization, biases, and all these things, the perspective that you have taken to analyze the text. And we see that what kind of things the text is foregrounding and what kind of things the text is backgrounding. So newspapers have multiple designers and complex processes of news writing. News should be conceived as a product that derives from organizational structures and professional practices. So, these newspapers and media houses, they hire the services of highly qualified people. They know that how news item is to be played on media, is to be run, is to be, written in the newspaper. From what perspective it should be played, it should be, written, it should be presented to the people. So organization, it has got its own agenda, and accordingly it presents news to you. It is impossible to conceive any story alone, unique, a first-hand product from its source, journalist, if we have not witnessed the journalist at work. Newspaper discourse lacks direct feedback, confusion, fragmentation, interaction, presence of audience, all of them characteristics of mass communication, Because writer knows that people who are sitting at home, they will read it later on. So keeping in mind the audience, he or she produces the text. Keeping in mind the organizational structure, organizational ideology, cultural practices, he or she produces the text in such a convincing way that it should win hearts and minds of the people. It should convince you, it should persuade you, it should bring you round the point of view that it is adhering to, that it is sustaining and maintaining, it is enacting and reenacting, and then it is trying to inculcate in you. So the main focus of news is on, government conflicts. They know that people would love to hear what the government is saying, what the opposition is saying, and conflicting views will be presented to you. Military conflicts at international level, at national level, what kind of wars are going on, what kind of problems are there, crimes and scandals, protests, social concerns, violence, disasters, sports, artistic creation and science. So these are some of the themes, newspapers usually talk about. Then, they create headlines in such a way that it should attract the attention of the reader. So in 2013, when we had some problems in Rawalpindi, some skirmishes, so there was a headline in Dawn News: curfew imposed, Ashura clashes turn Rawalpindi into ghost town. And then, along with this lead caption, they will be having a picture of the skirmishes, of the terrorist activity, or of the incident or the problem where people are in pain, people are weeping, and buildings, they have come down on the road. So such type of things they will display, because when you see such type of things, it just hit your senses, and you would love to read that what is there, what has happened. It will basically take you there. And media also, when they exactly show you that what is going on, where the crime has happened, where the incident had happened. For example, I still remember the 9/11 incident, or APS incident. Innocent children were killed in school. So everybody was weeping, sitting at home, watching that what exactly has happened. So this is how, different kinds of tactics and different kinds of strategies media uses, in order to cater to the needs of the people. So headlines are used that pull, persuade, and propel the people. For example, Modi's BJP bites the dust in Bihar for its extremism. Dictator spurred clash among democratic institutions, Rabbani. Covered to the end. So such type of, headlines are created. So let me finish this lecture here. We have talked about discourse, that how discourse is being used to spread ideology, and in order to spread ideology, media, news channels, newspapers, they work as a platform, and these platforms, they have their own certain ideologies they always propagate, and it is very difficult for the common people to differentiate between truth and lie. So the job of the critical discourse analyst is to highlight such type of practices where marginalization is created, discrimination is created, or it is kept hidden, okay, and then how different kinds of subscriptions to different kinds of ideologies are being made and they are being propagated through different kinds of texts. Thank you very much.